I'm your host, Kelly Morgan, indie author and indie publisher. Welcome to another episode of The Author's Mic. Welcome to today's episode. Hey everybody, Kelly here, indie author, indie publisher, and this is another episode of The Author's Mic. And I'm so excited because, as you can see, it's a guest edition. We have another guest on The Author's Mic, another indie author that I'm so happy is wanting to come and share this platform with me. Jamie Hughes is a social psychologist. He's written a series of books for mental health, so I think that's something that we can all focus on. And so he's here just to talk about the journey, what he's offering, what he's about. And if it resonates with you, definitely we'll make sure that all his contact information is in the description. I'll have him call it out too. But the mic, I'm going to now turn it over to him. So, Jamie, welcome.
Thank you very much. Happy to be here.
So I'll just ask one question to kind of get us started, to kind of kick you off.
Okay.
I went and kind of checked your stuff out, and I think it's great. Anybody who is an advocate of mental health, and I think people would love to know, like, what is it? Number one, what is a social psychologist? And then number two, what brought you on this journey? What made you become, I saw where you're an author and a coach, and so what made you want to do this and help others? I always love when people want to help others.
Sure. So, first question, social psychologist is really someone in the field that looks at the individual and then makes the connections between the individual's environment, starting with family, like relationships, could be romantic, could be, uh, family members, their occupations, the social you know, venue as a whole, even up to the country. And then also, how does the social circumstances affect individuals? So it's the psychology that connects the dots between the individual and the rest of the world.
Cool. So
Um, yeah,
what made you, write the book and go down this road that you're on, this journey that you're on?
so mine absolutely comes from personal experience. I went through trauma as a child, and abuse, and grew up suffering with depression on up until probably my mid 20s when I started intentionally getting help. Um, Went through a suicide attempt. So mine absolutely comes from a personal journey, and the more I learned in my own self-healing, the more I wanted to share that with others. And so that kind of taken me through nonprofit organizations. I've worked in children's hospitals with the families. I've worked in domestic violence and sexual assault agencies. So all of that kind of comes together along with my education and just wanting to help people better understand what they're going through and help them to begin or continue their journey of healing.
So what does it is a social psychologist, is that a master's degree?
Yes. Yeah. Master's
Um
degree. Mhm.
is are the books how are the books available? Because I know that you've written a book, you're an author, published.
Mhm.
So a couple of questions. I always like to know, how did you publish? Like, are you
Mhm.
self-published? Did you use a hybrid, traditional? And then where can people find the books? And I know that you said it's a series, so how many
Mhm.
books are there?
Yeah. So I did self-publishing. I wrote these um, and worked through a site that helps publish for ebooks. So I wanted these to be, readily available anywhere. So they're available worldwide if you've got some type of e-reader, whether it's, through Amazon, through Barnes and Noble, Apple Books, anything, you can download the books. And I, what was the other part of the question? That was
You
how I
said there's
got
a
them there.
series, so what are the names
Yes,
of the
yes,
books? There's a
yes,
series of them, so we know
right.
where to go get them, but what are they called?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So the first one was about managing anxiety, so clinical anxiety. then was managing PTSD, adult ADHD, and clinical depression. And I followed those, the first four up. Once I got those published, I followed those up with a managing mental health journal, which is available on my website.
Is there one central location that people can go to find you?
Yes, managingmentalhealth.net. And when they go there, actually they can get a copy of the journal, download for free. And on there it has the listing for each of the four books. And they just click the one that they're interested in, and it'll take them to the page where then they can pick which e-reader that they use, and it'll take them straight to the site.
So, are there plans to continue this series or write other books?
Yes, yes, I have a few more that I've started working on in this series. One of the next ones is going to be on just building resilience, and then one on bipolar disorder and one on substance use disorder or addictions. So those are the three that I'm currently working on that'll be available sometime in the next few months.
So, the one thing that I found that when people write books about mental health, they'll write about the problem, the issue, but maybe not give realistic ways to try to combat that with,
Hmm.
do you provide that type of information, something that somebody can do immediately while they're seeking help?
Absolutely. That was, and that you hit the nail right on the head. That was the whole intention of me writing these was to take what I've learned both personally and professionally and share it in a way that people could use. So when you first start the book, let's say you're reading the Managing Everyday Anxiety, it's going to give you, some of your definition type things and some clarification so that you get a better understanding of what you're dealing with. And then it dives right into extremely practical strategies, stuff that you can put into place right now to help kind of lessen your symptoms, and then steps to take your journey long term, so that you can get to your healing, the goals that you have for healing.
Fantastic. So, Chris, one more, or not Chris, I'm sorry, Jamie, one more time, please tell us where we can find the website. Give us the name of the website again.
Managingmentalhealth.net.
And this is for everybody. So it's not just for men or for women, or it's really for everybody.
Absolutely. And I would say beyond, self promotion of selling books, but for family members, for loved ones, because it's like a lot of other things in life. If you haven't been through something, you don't quite understand it fully. And so a lot of times people want to help their children, their spouse, their best friend, whatever that they know is struggling with, a mental illness or an emotional problem. And they're just not quite sure how they can pick these up and read through and get a great understanding of what it is and how to help them.
Fantastic. And so I just one more thing, because I know that you're also an author, but you
Mhm.
also said that you're a coach. So tell me like what you mean by that. Is that something that you offer? So if they went to the website, they would also see, the coaching things that you offer, or how does that work?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So if you go to the same website and once you scroll past the books, there's the section that if you're interested in coaching, you can just, put your name and email and I'll reach out to you and set up a free consultation. I've been doing life and business coaching for a little over 5 years now, and most of it boils down to helping people with my business experience, in which a lot of it comes from the nonprofit world, but some of it from the corporate world as well, and really helping them lay out a plan with attainable goals to get where they're going. And whether it's personal or professional, I really have a good knack for uh, seeing and understanding the barriers that people face that sometimes they don't see themselves, and helping them have a way to move past those barriers to success. Again, and that's personal or professional.
Fantastic. When were the books published?
This year, all four have been published this year. I started writing them about a year ago and got them started. I think the first one came out the first of March, end of February, 1st of March, somewhere around there.
And so, as an indie author, somebody who has written and published their own books,
Mhm,
what would you tell somebody who is maybe thinking about going down this road? Whether they're going to publish a fiction book or a
mhm.
nonfiction, what advice would you give to them that you didn't know before you started this journey?
Oh, always do your homework. Always do your homework. And it's so easy right now because, with YouTube and many other, search items online, you can find what you need to find. Just make that a part of your process. In other words, most writers will sit down and say, okay, I'm going to commit and I'm going to write for 2 hours today, or this weekend when I have free time, I'm going to do my writing. Do your homework, everything from the actual publishing process to your niche to where's going to be the best place to promote it, all those things. Just sit down and make that part of your process and doing your homework.
And that will make things much easier because once you get it written, you got to start promoting it. And if you don't
Yep.
really know who your audience is, it can
Hmm.
be a little difficult. So,
Yep.
absolutely. Jamie, thank you so much for being on the Author's Mic. I appreciate you. As always, if you are a creative in this space, if you're an author, a publisher, a graphic designer, somebody who just has knowledge, you are more than welcome to share this platform with me. All the information is in the link tree. Again, if you are a supporter of indie authors, or if you are a author and you want to join our book club or pitch our book club, we did start a book club. It's called the Indie Reader Society, the IRS. All the information is on the link tree. You guys go out and make it a great day. I know I'm definitely going to try. Once again, this has been the Author's Mic. Jamie, thank you so much for coming on. I'm always so excited when people join me. You don't really understand how happy this makes me. So thank you, thank you, thank you. A million thank yous for coming on. I appreciate you.
Thank you. I appreciate it very much myself. Enjoyed it.